settings thing is driving me bonkers. Anyways, sorry that I'm a minute or so late. Let's see, are we in the right position? Can everybody see me okay? Volume works. Holy cow. It's been a long time since we've talked. Like a month? 2 months? I don't even know. I think it was before Thanksgiving. Can everybody hear okay? Let's check the chat. For those of you that are new to our channel, welcome. And typically what I do is read chat on my other device. So if you see me not looking at the camera, that's because I am trying to keep track of all that's going on with this. 14 people so far. Hello, April, Tanya, Carolyn, Sean, my friend. Hello, Mio, Jesus, Diana. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. It is cold. I'm sure it's a lot colder where you guys are than where I am, but it is cold. I currently have, hey, Chris, how are you, my friend? Isaac, good to see you. Yes, commercials, thank you. I just had to grab my tea. We're set up in the addition. This is part of the addition. Super excited about that. I had a different place. Yes, Bill says we're in our new room. Hello, Melissa. Looking for a house in Florida. Wendy, Grandma Karen. Oh, Grandma Karen says hello from Iowa, -45. Kathy Jenkins. Ryan, hello, my friend. All right, if you come in later, I will do my best to greet you as you come in. William, hello, my friend. Well, the chat is scrolling. Beth is in the house. The chat is scrolling, so I try and read it on the device as it happens, but I don't always get to. Sometimes it disappears, sometimes it comes back. I don't know. YouTube's funny. So, Amy, you made it to a live. Woo! And we are in the addition. We are in the laundry room currently, the utility room. This room that I'm in is the reason, really, that we built this whole thing. It was to give us more space to do that. If I'm muttering a little bit, it's because my delightful children are in the other room having a Sunday evening movie night. And so I'm trying to be in the house. I would love to be outside, but as you guys have rightly mentioned, it is cold outside. Holy cow, it's cold. My goodness. Ooh, tea is still very hot this evening. If you're new to our channel, RGB, hello, my friend. It's so good to see you. If you're new to the channel, we call this our Flannel Farms Family Forum, where we get a chance to kind of hang out together and chat. And typically we talk about whatever I want to. Sometimes it's homesteading stuff. Sometimes it's politics. Sometimes it's my relationship with the Lord. Typically that finds its way into pretty much everything I do. But we always do our best to start off with a cup of tea. And this evening we're just having plain old St. John's wort. That's it. Just regular old St. John's wort. A little bit of a mood stabilizer. Helps everybody just... So, let's start. Let's just dive right in. The addition is going very well. Very, very, very well. There's paint on the walls, I think, as you guys can see. And from the pictures I put up earlier in the post that I made about how we were trying to do a live tonight, which we've made. I've been trying to do a live for like 3 weeks and it just hasn't happened. You can see from those photos that there are... Man, my hair is crazy. Crazy hair today. Everything's crazy. Where's Cowboy 88? She likes it when the hair goes crazy. We have electric. We have paint on the walls. Fixtures are in. Actually, right here, I can reach out and touch it. That's our washer and dryer. They are in this room. But it's not quite going as I thought it would when it comes to YouTubing. I had planned on filming something like every day and putting up progress every day. And what has happened is, Sean says electric paint on the walls, boogie boogie. What has happened is I've started to film, gotten busy, and just worked. And we did hire some subcontractors. We are our own general contractors, and I am making a video specifically about that and what that entails. But I started filming a video about hanging drywall, never finished it. I started filming a video about fixing the fences because the fences broke and shorted everything out, and all of the pigs, Sally and all of her piglets escaped and we're a mile and a half down the road. So I made a whole video, well, I started to, about fixing the fence line and what I found to be the problem and why it needed to be fixed. Never finished it. Started a video about mudding. Never finished it. I have just, I think there's 2 more videos I started. I can't even remember what they are. Oh, flooring. I started flooring and, thanks, Dave. I started a video on flooring. I'm sitting on LVP right now. You want to see my LVP? Look, my LVP. Look. I did all this LVP. That's the pile of stuff behind me. And I was going to do a video on, hey, how do we do, LVP. I'll show people how to do LVP. I've done a lot of LVP. LVP stands for luxury vinyl plank. And it's very easy to install. And I was like, man, I'll make a video about that. And that didn't finish either. And man, let me just give you an idea of what today was like, and remind me that the golf cart broke and we've already fixed it. The truck broke down while I was getting feed, and we had to get that fixed. And what else has happened? What else broke? Something else broke. I don't remember now. Doesn't matter. Anyways, so just today, we went to church, of course, had a lovely time of fellowship. The kids are in a little play. Bill says, I wonder if we'll finish this live stream. Now, if I was really clever, I'd just end it with I wonder if we'll finish and just shut it off. We went to church, and then the kids went there in, it's called the Moose Family Players, the Moose Lodge, and they let kids do things. And so after church, she went with the kids there, and we've had the pigs separated because they've been breaking through the fencing, and we've re-hot wired it and got it all kind of situated. And Bratwurst, our boar, Sally, oh, that's what happened. Penny killed all of her piglets, all of them. I don't even know how many she had. She wouldn't go into the area we made for her. We made a farrowing pen. It's separate from all the pigs. You remember with Sally's piglets, we had an issue. And we didn't get Sally separated before with her piglets, and some of them died in the mud and kind of got trampled. And we've made an area that was all perfect for Penny to have her piglets, and she refused to go in there, and we could not get her separated. And she made a nest, and she had piglets, and she buried them all in the mud. All of them died. I don't even know how many she had because she wouldn't let me get over near them. You remember the video we did about most dangerous animals is a mother pig, a sow that just had piglets. So she had them in the middle of the pen, so I couldn't even get to them. And so we've just had pigs separated. But today, I got a trailer from my neighbor, got it backed up to the fence, got the 2 pigs, Trump and Speckles, that we're going to butcher separated. And then I got them into the trailer, got the trailer over to the barn area where we can butcher. Because when it's cold is weather to butcher. Doesn't matter if anything else is going on. If it's the right time to do it, it's the right time to do it. So I got them all by myself, mind you, because the family's off now. Mrs. Flannel was getting groceries and going to Home Depot and getting more supplies and running around while the kids were doing their 2 hours of rehearsal. And I built another pen real quick over by the barn so that way I can, because I have 2 pigs in the trailer and I don't want to shoot them both at the same time and try and bleed them both out at the same time. So I want to do it one at a time. Redid the hot wire because, of course, when you back the trailer up and make it where the pigs can get out, you have to have an opening in the hot wire. And, of course, you can't leave that. And then we went 40 minutes round trip and got more bread. As you know, we feed our pigs expired bread. I got that. The tractor that I was using to move the pigs ran out of gas, so I had to go get fuel. And the cows needed hay. So we went to the barn and got hay for cows. That was just this afternoon. And it's been like that every day since the week before Thanksgiving. So I've tried to film, and I really miss you guys, and I miss our interactions in the comments and stuff with the videos. But of all the things that I could let kind of drop, unfortunately, YouTube was the lowest, I guess, of the priorities, you could say, which sounds awful because I know I don't view it as a channel. You guys know I view it more as a community, and I've gotten to know you guys over the past 2 years, and I really enjoy our time together. And I don't feel like it's just some business venture or chucking stuff out there. I really enjoy the social aspect of it. So I've really missed it. So today I was like, man, I have to do a live. I have to hang out with my people, man. Find out how they're doing. Tell them what's going on. So, oh, did I mention we also hatched 19 chicks? Hey, Adam, glad you're here, my friend. And yeah, we've got 19 chicks actually in the same room. Oh, you want to see some chicks? Let me see if we can do this. I might unplug everything. This is probably a terrible idea. Look at the little baby chicks. Oh, yeah, baby chicks. It wouldn't be a live stream if I didn't get up and walk around. I have so many things to cart with me now. So youngest flannel, our son, has been wanting to sell pullets. So, 19 chicks in the room. Yeah. Sean says that should be followed by context. So, anyways, yeah. Crazy things. There's a toilet sitting in my front yard that goes in the room right over there. Woo-wee. Man. So the golf cart broke down again. Let's start with the golf cart. That's fun. Y'all know the saga of the golf cart. If you're new to our channel, the golf cart is like the workhorse of this place. It does everything. We abuse that poor thing. And it's had an issue where there's power drawing from the it's just draining. So even when the key's off, like there's somewhere that the power is being drawn. And I've tried disconnecting various things, and I'm not smart enough with a voltmeter to really be able to trace it down. And so I had just purchased a battery for it and put it in, and it ran for like a week and it died again, like completely dead, wouldn't turn over nothing. And I was just furious. So I bought a battery switch. And we did, yeah. William asked if we hatched all those birds. Those are from our flock out here. I have another, oh, sweet, Bill. Thank you. Bill says he'll buy some pullets from us. Brandon, actually, one of our subscribers and friends of Bill and now friends of ours, wanted the pullets. So that's the ones that we harvest or did. Chick Cozy Chick. They're the ones that we did the review for the automatic door. I love that door, by the way. I'm going to do a follow-up video because we've had it for like 9 months and I really, really like it. They sent us a brooder heater like 3 months ago. When it was still in development, and we kind of tested it and stuff. And so we have it going now with these chicks, and I really like this one as well. They're also going to send us an incubator that they've made. So we just used an incubator that we had purchased before, and we're going to be able to... Video seems locked up. Oh, let me see what the quality looks like on my end. Oh, yep, it's locked up on my end. Oh, no, there we go. Seems to be back. I'm not sure why. There's probably a setting that I missed. Sorry. Does it look okay to you guys? Anybody else? It's good here, William says. All right. Sweet. So they're sending us an incubator with their brand. So I'm going to be able to test that against one that we've purchased based on other reviews, and we'll give you an update on what that's like. But that's going to be youngest flannel's business venture. So I towed the golf cart over to the barn, and RGB says she misses our live streams with the fire. I do too, and if it wasn't so stinking cold outside, I would love to have a fire right now. We hope to have a fireplace in here at some point, wood burning stove. Anyways, I towed over there, and I hadn't bought a new battery for it yet, but the new Ford with the oh yeah, somebody's warning me about LVP while we're talking. Breath of Water says careful with LVP if you have a crawl space. Wood in the floor can breathe, but the LVP holds moisture against the subfloor and can make it warp over time. That's what she's heard, or they've heard. Breath of Winter, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with LVP. I've had issues with laminate, but so I tow the golf cart over there, and I figure out this switch that I ordered from Amazon, and it's just a simple on off, and you run the positive and negative wires and all that, and I hook this thing up, and oh okay, RGB says they refreshed it and it's back. Woo! And I hooked this switch up. I drill holes through the firewall, all this stuff, and put it all together. I take the battery out of the tractor and I put it in there, and nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. It doesn't click, hum, whir. And this is a new battery out of the tractor that I know works because I drove the tractor over there. Oh my gosh. And of course, it's like 7 p.m. and I'm like working by flashlight. And so I start messing with wires and messing with switches. And this is a gas-powered golf cart, for those of you that are new to our channel. And it's got a forward lever and a reverse lever. And reverse doesn't work anymore. There's little brushes in there. I just haven't fixed it. And there was absolutely nothing wrong with the battery. Somebody had bumped the lever from forward to just enough past forward that it wasn't in reverse, but it was enough to not be in forward, and reverse doesn't work. So I didn't need the battery switch. I didn't need a battery. It works just fine. So that was one of those funny ones where it's like, I kid you not, that thing probably sat in the front field for like a month and a half because I just didn't have time to get to it. And when I did finally get to it and spent 45 minutes working on it, there was actually nothing wrong with it to begin with. It just was in a gear that doesn't work. But no more shall that battery drain because I've put a battery switch on it. Oh. And the battery switch will keep it from draining, and that works. Man, we went to get hay the other day, and I'm driving the big old 350, and it's a 7.3 liter diesel, supposed to last forever. And I had 6 bales of hay and a barrel full of feed. And I made it out of his driveway, down the hill, and the truck died, and I made it up the hill into the church parking lot. And it was just died. And it would turn over, riggedy. Nothing. No sputter, no hit, no anything. So, of course, 7.3 liters, high pressure fuel rail. I checked the oil levels. Oil levels are fine. Fuel levels fine. Plenty of spark. Riggedy. So we spent about 3 hours messing with this thing. And thankfully, some friends of ours who also subscribed to the channel came and rescued us. They were coming to get feed themselves from our same guy. And they stopped with their truck and trailer, and they helped us tow the trailer back to the house, and we got the barrel off, and we did a lot of work, and had to have it towed, and that was a fairly expensive fix that we weren't planning on. But the truck is now running, the golf cart is now running, baby chicks are here, build is going well, work is fine, everyone's healthy. There's a whole lot to be thankful for, and we're very thankful. So I apologize to you guys for not getting more content out, but the build has transitioned from the builders to us. So we put the fans in, we've been painting, we've been putting floors in, everything is going fine. We had a little bit of an issue with the drywall mud and certain places not looking quite the way we had hoped. But all we did was talk to the guy who was doing it, and he came back and fixed everything, made it right. Didn't charge us any extra, just did what they said they would do. No problems. It's one of those things, and they thought it was good enough, and it just really wasn't because we're doing smooth wall. And that's, everything has to be like super perfect. And we started to sand and paint one room, and it just wasn't good enough. So, Ryan says, I'll take less content in the live going awesome any day. Lives in some ways are easier to do because I can just hang out with you guys and chat, and I don't have to worry about editing and the back and forth and the what is the hook going to be of this one? And but it has been. Did I mention that we decided while we're at it, we might as well paint every wall in the house and change all the floors and paint the ceilings and redo the countertops and do the floors in the bathroom and all that stuff? Yeah. So we realized about halfway through the build that we were going to have this beautiful new space where everything was done. And the rest of the house was still going to look like it was from, the early 90s, which it is. There's nothing wrong with that. And we were quite content to do that, to leave it, be in the 90s. Beth says that ceiling fan and light is fantastic. That's called a fandelier. Mrs. Flannel found that, and we weren't sure if it was like too ridiculous, over the top, or gaudy, and we don't care. We love it. William says, my grandchildren are here for a bit, so I'm running. Much love. Yeah, man. Take care. Family comes first, obviously. And yeah, April says, what are we thinking? I think we're thinking we're insane. But we didn't want you to sit in the, what'll be the new living room, looking into what is the great room, and all that's finished and perfect and beautiful. And then when you're looking around, it's, what did Eldest Flannel called it? Booger puke brown or something she called the color. I don't remember. It was really funny. Muted booger or something. We knew that we were going to have to redo the floor in the main part of the house because it's going to tie in now to the great room. And the floor that we thought was wood floor is actually like a plywood stamped grooved thing. It's not actually hardwood. And so the new floor in the addition is, the subfloor is perfectly level with the existing floor in the rest of the house. So I don't have to tear anything out. We're just going to put down a vapor barrier like somebody was talking about earlier for LVP. And we're going to go right across the new area over the old area. And of course, if you're going to put new floor down, you should paint the walls first. So this whole thing is just kind of spiraled out of control. We've redone the guest bathroom already. We've painted the hallways, the ceilings. Excuse me. We've changed every light fixture, every fan. Or if we haven't, they're sitting here in a box waiting to get changed. So we just decided to just redo while we were in it, right? Instead of getting halfway through, like doing half the house with the new build and then flipping over to the old build and stuff, we just go ahead and knock it out. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot. I can see why people. So I love old renovation shows. I especially like British ones because I think the really, really old houses are super cool. So they'll be remodeling something like built from the Tudor times or Georgian period. Here in America, if it's 100 years old, that's a pretty big deal. 200 years old in America is like super old. And over there, it's like 500 years old is an old house. It's not, this barn was built when they invented bricks and stuff. It's pretty cool. But you watch these shows and they're like 45 minutes long. And you see the couple walk around the house and they're like, yeah, we just have this dream and we've always wanted to live in an old house and it's going to be a lot of work, but it's okay. And they're like, they call them project managers instead of general contractors over there. They project manage their own build. And then as like the build goes on, they look older and older and more haggard and more haggard. And by the end of it, they have this beautiful thing and they're like, I would never do this again. It was the worst experience in my life. And, yeah, Amy says our place is built in 1936 and we're constantly working on something. Exactly. And I can see how they got there. When you're even if you're just managing the build yourself, even if you're not doing a lot of the work, and we're doing a fair bit of the work ourselves, I can see why it's so exhausting and it's constant. And when you're the one responsible, you're the one responsible. So we've pulled the permits. We're the ones that got all the, the building. We hooked up the building package and we've had all the deliveries made and had to make sure all the materials lined up at the same time. And, all these things it's all your responsibility. So even if you're not actually like picking up a hammer and banging in the walls, the guys that are doing the banging on the walls, if they don't have enough material, you have to go get it or make sure it arrives, or, you have to make sure that the electric guy isn't in the way of the AC guy and all these things. And it is, man, it's just draining because it's constant. But it's coming out so well. And we're already starting to use it, as you can see. Did I show you my fancy cabinets? Look at these fancy cabinets. Oh, it's so pretty cabinet over there. And what is that? What is that? Is there a matching cabinet over there? Oh, there's a matching cabinet over there. I found those at a scratch and dent place for super cheap. We realized as we were building, and once we get this area finished, we're actually going to have room to move things out of the other areas into the house, into this area, so that we can paint walls and we can do ceilings and we can replace floors. So there is a method to the madness because we are adding so many square feet to the house. It's not going to be that awful to get everything kind of just situated and moved. Speaking of awful, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button for me. Thank you. So we have, let's see, what do we have left? Let's knock out what we have left. We have a little bit of painting left. I have a little cutting in left to do, and the ceiling in here needs another coat. And then the wood floor is in here. Do you guys remember that wood floor that I found over there in Williamsburg? It was an old dance studio. It's actual hardwood. It is in here now, acclimating to the temperature and humidity of the place it's going. So one of the things is when you're installing flooring, especially an organic, natural floor like wood, it's a good idea to do it with LVP and laminate and those things as well. But those things don't absorb water and things at the same rate that wood does. And that wood has been sitting in my barn for, I don't even know. I think I got it I think it was in November when I got it. So it's been in my barn and it's been getting, moist. So it's at like 10 to 11% moisture. I have a moisture reader that I got for this purpose. The moisture reading needs to come down to kind of the ambient area of where it's going. So if it's going in a very dry area, which most houses are because you have HVAC and those kind of things, you want it to be dry because it will shrink as that happens. Or if it's super dry and you put it in and you're living in a humid area, then it will expand and you'll have big issues. So, no, go back. Thank you. All messages. Sorry, I bumped my chat for those of you who are listening in this podcast style. So the floor's got to get spread out so it can continue to acclimate. And then we haven't ordered, the doors have been ordered, but they're not here. That needs to be done. The siding on the outside of the house, the contractor is doing for me. And then I have soffit and fascia. And then I have a couple little tiddly bits like putting the, covers over the outlets. But the outlets are hot. They're live. They shock you. And we need to put in the pedestal sink and the toilet. And after that, it's trim. And this part is done. We're really hoping to be done in another 6 weeks. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But that's our goal. And our goals are typically unreasonable. But if you aim at nothing, you hit nothing. So the weather, it's cold. And do you know what cold weather's good for? You know what cold weather's good for? What's cold weather good for? I know there's like a 3-second delay between when I say something and when you guys get the chat. So I'm going to give you a second to tell me what good thing cold weather's for. Homesteady, not like, tobogganing and sledding and stuff, but there's a homesteady thing that happens. Sean says snuggling with your wife, starting seeds, butchering. Bingo. Ryan got it. Hot chocolate. All these are great ideas. Carolyn's asking if it's going to be done by July. I'm hoping to be done in 6 weeks. Not 6 months, 6 weeks. I hope. And I mean the whole house, all the flooring and all that stuff. All that bit needs to be done. Yeah, butchering, Beth. You got it. So, the electric in this place. Yeah, Tanya says resting, eating, napping after eating. The electric, we traded the guy for a butchered pig. And one of the other pigs, we raised it for some friends of ours. So they are awaiting their meat. The other thing is Penny, who killed all of her piglets, has not been a very good mom. So the last batch of piglets, I think she had 14, which we were really impressed by. But then I think we only ended up with 8 when it was all said and done for various reasons. But she rejected like 4 right off the bat. And then we found several more dead later. So she just isn't working out. So I've got 2 of them set aside. So tomorrow morning, because this is really good weather for butchering, even though it's going to be really, really cold, we're going to go ahead and butcher 2 pigs. We're going to start tomorrow. So the plan for tomorrow is to very early in the morning, as soon as I can see, Joe, my friend, hello. They did. Joe said, hope and Mrs. Flannel and the kids and everybody had a great Christmas and New Year's. We did. Happy belated Christmas and New Year's to you, my friends. I should have started probably with that, but it's like 2 weeks into January and I feel like I'm way past it. Yeah, Penny needs to go to freezer camp. That's exactly right, Carolyn, and she's going to. But I don't think I can do 3 pigs this week and still get all the things done to stay on track with that self-imposed 6-week plan. So tomorrow morning early, we're going to dispatch the 2 pigs, get them, de-haired, gutted, halved, and hung. And then I have to come in here and finish paint. And then, the old utility room needs to get moved into the new utility room. And once that happens, there's shelving all throughout there that all needs to come down. There's just drywall holes everywhere in there. And that's also where the main power panel is. And so the drywall's been cut out there because we've been running all the stuff. So that needs to get started getting repaired because I need to run the LVP through there and through the kitchen. So we're going to match the area in here, which was that kind of white driftwood in the kitchen and the old utility room. And then we're going to do a old style kind of dark walnut, but it's going to be light. I don't know how to say this, lightly stained dark walnut. So we don't want a super dark floor, but we want dark parts. So we're going to put the stain on and then wipe it off before it fully integrates. And that way in some of the softer grains, it will absorb faster. So it'll give us a bit more of a kind of a rustic farmhouse type feel. There's a nice cream color on the wall. And then there's a super cool accent wall that I really wanted you guys to see. But the kids are watching the movie and I can't go in there right now. They're ruining my life. They're not. They're good kids. And so that needs to happen. And then I'm hoping we're supposed to get snow and rain tomorrow afternoon. So I got to get those 2 guys done. Tanya asked if we're taking before or after videos. So sort of. I've done time lapse like 4 times and I just haven't finished it. I haven't like wrapped it all together. So probably what I'm going to end up doing is taking all those bits of time lapse that I've done and making a self-build video, what it takes to be your own general contractor. We've also saved over 50% of what we were quoted. Get up there. And so I want to share a video on how we did that. And it wasn't by, building everything out of pallets and, bubble gum or dumpster diving or any of those things. We went to some of the things we bought were from scratch and dent type places, but for the most part not. And I haven't done that much work by myself to make it that much of a savings, if that makes sense. Somebody asked a Piglet question. Let me check it out real quick. Hold on. Isn't there a way to decrease piglet loss by leaving a space open below the bottom stall board? I think I saw it on Justin Rhodes. Ask him. Well, the problem with her, we have a shelter for them, Big Sky, and there is a slice out of that shelter. So on the bottom of it, so it's like a tin on 3 sides, and the hot wire goes around it. And there is a way to look, Inception. There is a way to get them that way, but she wouldn't go to the farrowing area so that we could even get her separated. She just wouldn't cooperate. She went where she wanted to, and our pigs are in hot wire in woods, so I don't have stalls necessarily. I've built one farrowing. Well, I built one sequester area in the woods for our boar, and then I built a farrowing area, and she just ignored it and went off and did her own thing. So it was location. I just couldn't get to that to have it happen the way it was supposed to. But our other sow has done a wonderful job with hers, and she's laid them out in the woods, and there's been no problem. And she goes to the farrowing pen, much better temperament. So, yeah, and pigs can be that way. I think it was Joe Salatin who said if you have an ornery animal, you don't really have time for that when it's not your pet. It's a production animal. But yeah, there's a lot coming up. the Tanya says what you have there is a pig-headed sow. That's pretty good. I wish I'd have thought of that. Very good, Tanya. Like I said, I had high hopes for how much content this was going to create for me, and it's really just not. I could just haven't had the time to take advantage of it. But how we saved, I think we're going to be roughly 60% of what we were quoted. I'm working that video out in my head right now because I want to lay it out really well and just have it, useful step-by-step information. And Justin, he says, Northern Michigan in the house. What's this chat about? Well, currently it's about additions, pigs, broken golf carts, trucks, all that stuff, man. So many things. So yeah, we're working our way through that mentally, and I want to make sure that I have, I want to get enough of the addition done that I know that those numbers are going to be accurate that I give you. I don't want it to be premature where I'm mostly finished and I'm telling you how much I saved when it's not finished yet. So I really want it to be, just a comprehensive type video. I tend to shoot off the hip a little when I make videos. There's something going on, I find it interesting, I grab the camera and just run off and start filming, and then I have to try and make it up in post-production edits. So I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be a much more planned out, storyboarded type thing, so I don't miss any steps. It's hard to kind of think through everything all at once. But the new space is absolutely fantastic. Having this laundry area, our laundry room was like a closet, like where they had the two walls come out that are just the width and depth of the washer and dryer, and then they put doors in front of it, and you couldn't just like set your laundry down and do it. They had shelves that were so low you couldn't open the washing machine lid to be able to put them in there. And it's just been so nice to have this much space. And actually, I'm hoping to film it if I'm on it enough and I have enough mental bandwidth to be able to do it. We're actually going to do part of the butchering in the new space. I got a tarp and I'm going to put it down over the subfloor, and it's with the ACs in here, the HVAC's here. I got outlets. So I'll be able to, I'm going to gut them and hang them outside, and then I think I'm going to quarter them outside and then bring them inside. Amy says you just described our laundry room. Isn't that awful when it's just a closet? And our closet was directly in, well, do you want to see it? I'll show you. Let me just show you. If you're driving, this is not a good time to look at the screen. You should pause this and pull over. Let's see if I can do this without smashing things. I got like I don't know if I can even take that off. Oh well, let's do it. All right. Ew. All right, so it's in your kitchen. Yeah, gross. So this is our back door. It was our back door, and that's the kitchen. Okay. So laundry, or the wonderful utility room, is right here. And if you look up there, you can see where the lines in the ceiling are. They put double doors here. Okay, so I'm just gonna spin. I'm just spinning in place. So there's back door, laundry suite, right? And again, lines in the ceiling, they had double doors there. And everyone would walk right through there to get into the kitchen, right? Because that makes sense. And so if you opened these bifold doors, you actually couldn't enter the house. And now, here, let's spin. This is laundry room. Look at that big laundry. Oh, such big laundry. Big room. That's going to be a door. It's awesome. And then, I almost did it in here. This is going to be the half bath. Little pocket door right here. Yeah, Amy says, that's it. And she took the doors down. Yeah, so did I. We hung curtains, but still. And you think, I think our house was 1,500 square feet or something like that. And who doesn't think in all these 1,500 square feet, maybe like, we take 20 feet and make a laundry area. I don't understand. Do you, and it was built in the 90s, so it's not even like now where people are building McMansions that are, 2,600 square feet and 800 square feet of that as a master. Don't people have laundry? Like, don't you want a place to do laundry and a place to store your food and whatever? Anyways, I don't know. It was aggravating. So we just took care of that. And of course the great room's on that side, but we're not going to go over there because that's a secret right now. Although you've seen pictures. At some point we'll do the actual tour when I don't have to carry like 4 things around and make that work. But that brings me to the overwhelmedness and something I had read the other day. I think it might have been Sean that posted it, but I don't remember. If it wasn't you, Sean, I apologize for over crediting you. And if it was you, then I'm glad I remembered. And it talked about mile markers and how husbands should give essentially mile markers to their wives. And Justin asked what we farmed. We farm pigs, chickens, cows, and vegetables. I am a full-time firefighter paramedic. So that's my day job. I call us Flannel Farms, but really we're more like a hobby farm, kind of a homestead type deal. So currently our overarching goal is to provide our own food that we have raised ourselves. We've been at it for about 2.5 years. We've had chickens probably for 18 or 20 years, and we've had backyard gardens for 20 years, but we've never tried to do anything on scale or with livestock until about 2 years ago. So I went from never butchering anything to I think I've butchered 14 pigs now. I don't know, probably 100 chickens I've butchered, and we're hoping to butcher 2 of our steers this year if I have enough time. If not, they'll go next year. We also started a flower garden, cut flower farm. Not next year. We started it last year, a cut flower garden. So, really we're trying to kind of provide a different way of life for our kids and to really know where our food comes from and make a more conscious effort to, ingest and produce it myself. Nice. Justin says he microfarms. Cool. Yeah, there's a huge movement of microfarming, and this is the first time we've ever had any land to do it with. We got 15 acres here. Most of it's woods. Tanya said I'm a yard stitter. That's right. Every little bit helps. I mean, back in World War II, they called them victory gardens. But it was our way of life for, thousands and thousands of years. The vast majority of people grew a lot of their own food, or at least had animals that they did it to. So, it would be difficult to afford to eat clean if I had to buy it myself from someone else. So we have endeavored to try and do it ourselves. It would probably be cheaper in actual fact to, not buy acreage and to buy it from some local farm somewhere. But I also like to do things myself a lot. That's just kind of our family way, is to be as self-sufficient as possible and to be producers, not just consumers. So, and we just trying to do the right thing. This mile marker thing, this dude's, ghost peppers. My dude grows ghost peppers. If you want an actual garden list, Mrs. Flannel is the gardener. I'm the animal husbandry type dude, the butcherer, the builder. She is the green thumb plant extraordinaire lady, and occasionally I browbeat her into doing a live stream with me. She's much more introverted than I am, so I constantly do my best to respect the fact that she doesn't necessarily want everything she does all over the internet. But she's the gardening expert. Which is funny because my brother's David the Good and he's a gardening expert, and you think some of that would have fallen onto me, but it didn't stick. But anyways, so this guy who posted this thing about mile markers was essentially a marathon runner, And the first mile marker the dude saw was like 3 miles into it. And he realized he was kind of like way off pace. And Rip, hello, my friend. And he realized that it would have been a lot more convenient and useful to him if somebody would have posted a mile marker a lot quicker, earlier. So like mile 1, so you can kind of judge your pace and judge what you're doing. And the guy's point was in a, traditional marriage where the wife stays home and the husband goes to work. The Big Sky says, do you plan to raise meat birds in 2024? Love Dave. Not really. We have roosters and we have chickens. When we hatch chickens, we eat the roosters, but we don't specifically raise meat birds. I like to do pigs and cows better. But he was saying that when the wife stays home and she's working constantly around the house, so, homeschooling the kids and taking care of the budget potentially and cooking the food and cleaning the kitchen and all these things, it can become this like day-to-day grind, right? And you don't really see the results, right? Because as I'm sure we know, raising children is a marathon. Our lives are marathons. These aren't sprints to the finish. The things that we struggle with, the internal struggles that we have, our natural bents towards sin, these things take a lifetime of sanctification to fix. And when you're raising your children, I mean, we can say it's 18 years, but in reality, once you have a kid, your life is different forever, and it should be. And it isn't just something that, oh, well, on Thursday, I corrected selfishness. Now my child is never selfish again. I never have to worry about it. And our wives can get, ground down just by the day-to-day, every day, every day, every day. And the guy was essentially, go away. The kids' movie's over, so now they're poking around. Maybe we'll give you that tour after all. He was saying that instead of, like, hey, your kid graduated high school, congratulations, you did it. That mile marker's like way too far out there. Like that's not a daily thing, right? You need to be encouraging your wife or your spouse in what they're doing and celebrating the little things. So yes, we are aiming to finish this marathon, right? Paul says I'm training to run a race. It's a long one. It's not short. And it shouldn't just be, oh, hey, it's Christmas or New Year's, and hey, you did a good job homeschooling last year. These mile markers are way too far. We need to shorten them up. And essentially what it means is we need to be encouraging each other on a daily basis. And husbands the same way, right? Wives, you can make or break your men with your words. If you are, hey man, go conquer it, go earn the living for us, go do whatever, go away. Other children, it gives us that confidence, that boost to carry on, because punching in and out of that clock every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, or whatever your schedule is. Mine's a little weird because I'm fire department, but that can be the drudgery. And do you just go, hey, when you retire, we say congratulations, you did a good job? No, we need that encouragement on a much more constant kind of basis. So it really kind of convicted me and reminded me that I needed to be more intentional with encouraging my wife in the small things. That thank you, that you cleaned the kitchen today. Thank you for homeschooling our children. You're doing the right thing, even if they were less than gracious companions, as children can sometimes be. And instead of taking these overwhelming things and thinking, man, if I don't homeschool my kids exactly right, they're never going to go to college. They're going to be, whatever, societally dysfunctional. And if I don't, do all this correctly as a man with my money, then I'm going to not, have the retirement for my family. And we can look at these big things, but in reality, when God taught us to pray, he said, give us this day our daily bread. And we are often guilty, at least I am, of living in the future, of living in the when this is done. So, and it's even with the addition, right? It's I'll enjoy it when it's complete, which is true. But Did I enjoy the work of my hands today? Did I put my hand to the work that God gave me today? And that's a successful day. The successful day isn't when you've completed the entire addition. The successful day is I'm healthy, I'm okay, I have these hands, God has given me the ability to work, and I'm going to go do it, and I'm going to thank Him for it. And instead of these big lofty goals, and I think even especially with homeschooling, because it's such an intense thing, because the kids never leave. They're always here, which is the point, right? We're not sending them off into the world. We are keeping them home. We are protecting them and allowing them to mature at a normal rate, their innocence to last for a longer time than necessary. Not necessary. Longer than the world, right? You send them off to school, and you don't know who they're going to school with. You don't know what kind of home life those things, and the kids hear all sorts of things, and so we're able to kind of control that a little bit. But in reality, the work in their hearts is the work that the Lord's going to do, and we can get so caught up with, are we on track with this grade level, and are they going to be smart enough, and are people going to judge me as a parent based on if my kid can spell correctly, or if their words come out goodly, or those types of things. And the fact that we've gotten up today and done our best with our kids and put them to bed is a good day. That is a successful day. And so I think we need to, the old adage is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Whether it's the goal that we're aiming for, which might be a massive goal, like finishing an addition on your house, or educating your children, or paying off a car, or I don't know what, pick whatever these massive goals are, because we all have them. All of us have these goals that in 5 years, 10 years, whatever years we're going to do these things, and those are good things to have. We should have goals, because if we're not aiming at something, we'll hit nothing. So we should. It's prudent to lay things up. It's prudent to have these plans, but we should remember that today is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And we can do all things to the glory of God, whether we sit down, stand up, eat, drink, homeschool, build additions, fix golf carts, butcher pigs. These are things we can glorify God in, and we should enjoy them while we're doing them. And even when they're difficult, the hard things, we should enjoy. Paul said he learned to be content in all things, hungry, full, poor, rich, sick, healthy, just content. And when we focus too much on the big goals and the long-term goals, I think we start to lose contentment. And a lot of times, I'll just give you a little mental exercise. Yes, sweet floors, clean toilets. Exactly, Big Sky. These are things we can glorify God in, to the work that He has given us. How many of your goals have you met that you've quasi forgotten about? And the older you get, the more of them there are. But I'm sure if you've been an adult, sound like I just joked, you've been an adult. I don't know what's in this tea. If you've been an adult more than 6 months, you see me. If you've been an adult for any length of time, you've had goals, whether it was finishing high school, college, getting a job, a car, there have, a house, kids, there's been things that you have fretted and prayed over and worked toward that you got, that you've accomplished in some form or fashion. And what ends up happening? We move on to the next thing, right? That's Grandpappy's firewater tea, says Sean. But that's what we do. We've accomplished something. And you guys know this channel's been around for about 2.5 years. You watched us move out to this property. And you remember, and I've looked back at it because I needed my own remembrance, at just the wonder of being here, and just mind blown that we were actually on property. We were going to be able, the first time we brought pigs home, and just holy cow, we have pigs. And now there's 17 on the property. I wrangled 2 into a trailer by myself, separated them out, and I'm just out there doing it, right? And that sense of wonder has already started to fade in some of those things. And you think, well, I can't wait to butcher a cow next. Well, I can't wait to, if I can clear this acre over here, and then I can start doing this. And if I can build this addition and make the house bigger, right? We need to stop and reflect on the answers to prayer that God has given us. And yeah, glory to God. Homestead says, I know you do, but trust the Lord. Exactly. But he's given us these things, and how quickly we are to forget, right? I mean, it's like the week after Christmas when you've given your kids presents and they've opened them all up and wow, and then they play with them for about a week, and then it's right into the rotation with everything else, if they even remember they got it. And we can be the same way. So what I have done here in the past week to kind of overcome my overwhelmedness is realize that the good thing isn't necessarily in the completion, but in the journey, in the sanctification process. Let's put it that way. It's in the sanctification process. So doing the work with my hands is a good thing. Each day being busy about something productive. It's productive work, right? I'm not moving piles of rocks from one pile to another and then moving them back. This is productive work that I'm privileged to be a part of. That when you're trying to, drag fractions out of a book and stuff them into your kids' heads, these are good things that we're doing. And they're things we should enjoy, and we shouldn't just wait till it's over to enjoy it. And I know the kids are getting older. All of my kids are in double digits now. And it won't be long before they're out of the house. It won't. It's going to be like, and some days you go to bed and you're just exhausted, right? I know it. As parents, you go to bed and you're like, oh my gosh, is this stage ever going to end? Is this character trait ever going to change? Whatever. And then one day they don't live there anymore. And my sister said, she has, well, I won't say how many kids she has. It doesn't matter. I don't want to give away your stuff. But one of my sisters said, someday I will eat I'll have my food uninterrupted and drink my coffee while it's still hot, because my house will be empty and it'll break my heart. Right? The empty nest syndrome. You've made it to this big goal, and all of a sudden you just want a little bit more time with them. Of course, then grandkids happen, and that's wonderful. Can't wait for that. So instead of being so focused on the end, so focused on April says, you blink and it's over. They're grown and living their lives, which is great, right? I'm sure there's a level of satisfaction, of pride in watching your grown children make it. But that level, man, you're just not going to have it again. This is that stage. So I know a lot of people are going through a lot of things, and my overwhelmed feeling is not from, somebody on their deathbed or somebody in hospice or, a cancer diagnosis or any of those things. None of these things that are happening in my life that are just, consuming so much of my time are life-threatening. There's a lot worse that could be happening. I just have to remember to keep all of this in context and keep it in the proper priority, that the Lord has blessed me enough to have animals that need to be butchered right now, to be able to have the resources to build an addition like this. It's not lost on me that I am extremely blessed to be able to be doing what I'm doing, to have the career that I have, the health insurance. I mean, there's so many things that he has taken care of, that the things that I let overwhelm me are just because I'm not looking at things correctly. So I need to start looking at things correctly again. And I appreciate the patience that you guys have had with us and the encouragement that you guys have been to us. The joy that it's been to share this with you guys, the whole journey, like ever since we started the channel, not just the addition. Man, I'm so tired. The words don't work. Not just the addition or the homesteading stuff, but you guys have been with us through a lot, and it means a lot to us. So that is most of what I think I wanted to get out. Is every day we just are thankful for the day that we have, and we put our hand to the tasks that we have. And if we do it to God's glory, as if he asked us to do it, then that's a good day. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to hit them to me now. We have a few minutes before I have to go. Tanya says, my life was not always that of a true believer, and now that it is. And I see so much that I regret not doing or being. I struggle to live in the joy of my salvation because of guilt. Well, Tanya, let me encourage you. The guilt is not from the Lord, from your past when you were not a true believer. None of us were living the way we were supposed to live. The Bible says, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own path. So we can dwell on that, but all that does is keep us from doing the things that the Lord has for us now. And the Lord loves you enough that he died for you. And then he called you, saved you, and sanctified you. So instead of looking at what you were, let's look at what you are. You are an adopted daughter of the King of the universe, the creator of all things, who has said that he loves you and has given himself for you. And one day you will be with him in eternity forever. That's who you are now. Who you were is dead. They're dead. We still have our sin nature. We still have some of those things, right, that we struggle with, and we will. That's the sanctification process. But don't waste the time. Don't waste the time that you have by being wrapped up in what you were. We don't know how long we have on this earth, so we thank God for it. We thank God for the forgiveness, and we move on as sons and daughters of his. So, yeah, as people in the chat are also saying, right? God has a plan for all of us. Look to him and he'll move you through. He's already forgiven you. Keeping the joy at bay, lay it down, he'll take care of you. Yep. Old things are past. Behold, all things are become new. A new creation in Christ can move on because God no longer holds your past over you. It was finished on the cross. The debt is paid. Okay? So, that struggle is just part of that sin nature rearing its ugly head. And if the enemy, the devil, can keep us preoccupied with our pasts or with failures or with those types of things, then we've been incapacitated, and we don't want that. We want to be good servants of the King. So when those things happen, we have to render those thoughts captive. The Bible does say we can render all these thoughts captive. Whatever things are good, holy, noble, pure, think on these things, dwell on these things. So if that pops up, use it as a reminder to say, I know you've forgiven me and I'm working for you. And that's it. And I think the more you repeat it and the more you hide God's word in your heart, because it's God's word that sanctifies us and it's God's word that transforms our minds. So we don't want to listen to platitudes or, gobbledygook. We want to really understand what is going on and discern the proper path, and that is found in Scripture. So I would memorize the Scripture as much as you can. Maybe go through some Psalms when those times happen, because, man, if there's anybody out there who made some mistakes, King David was one of them, and he wrestled with them deeply, and those are all in the Psalms for us, and we can see that God forgave him of all those things and called him a man after God's own heart. So there's hope for us yet. Definitely hope for us yet. Oh, goodness. But Tanya says, thank you for the encouragement. You are welcome. Absolutely. That's one of the things we always hope to do on the channel and our community, is to make sure that every video we have, whether it's a live stream, a short, or something, that there's something that's encouraging, something uplifting. There's enough negativity in the world. The world's gone nuts. And I just don't want to play with that anymore. We don't need another source of fear or scare or whatever. I just don't want to do it. So I didn't see any questions, unless you guys had some questions. And if not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, which is okay. You don't have to have any questions. I just want to make sure that I'm available. Big Sky says, have you considered a multi-generational home? Just move the daughter and son-in-laws in. Ooh. Are you talking to me, Big Sky? Because yes, I have thought of that. Sorry, I'm for those of you who are listening and not watching, I thought I saw something. I was scrolling back to see it, but I don't see. Oh, it was Melissa. My oldest moved out a few months ago with his girlfriend. Gotcha. Okay. Um, yeah. So Big Sky. One of the cool things about the county that we live in is I can break off like 2 acres without having to get it rezoned and build houses on it. So yes, we are thinking of multi-generational properties. And you're right, it is biblical. It's something. Mrs. H says, "Thank you, Brian, for the words of encouragement." You're welcome, Mrs. H. So glad you were encouraged. Yeah, I think that's a very American idea, right? That you grow up and you make your own way. And our grandparents were like, when I was 14, I went and fought in the war, and then I came back and I bought a house and married and had 6 kids by the time I was 22. And I made it. I did it on my own. I was my own person and whatever. I think that's a super boomery type thing. I don't think it was predominant before the boomers, and I think the Xers kind of picked up on it. And then a lot of millennials, which I am a grandpa millennial, I'm an old millennial. That was just, we couldn't afford to move out, so a lot of them didn't. And it's getting worse, I think, with Gen Z. And it was seen as some sort of failure that you couldn't move out. But there aren't the factory jobs like there used to be, or you could go work in the mill, fresh out of high school. You went down to the local, insert whatever mill, coal mill, lumber mill, flour mill, paper mill, whatever. And that was your life. It was enough. And you could buy a house for a reasonable price and a truck for a reasonable price. And, it was life. But yeah, I don't see that model in scripture. I mean, we do see that, a son will leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. But, excuse me, that has much more to do with the relationship, I think, than it is, like geographic. Acres, hello, my friend. Ryan says it's snowing there. Sweet. So I don't think that's I think that's like I said, a relational thing. The wife becomes the most important part. The two shall become one. I don't think it's a geographical thing where you have to run off and go do whatever. And why would we put that stress and financial burden on our kids? Have you guys seen housing prices? And wages aren't keeping up with inflation and like the manipulated market and all this madness. If we have somehow managed to claw our way into some sort of, prosperity, are we planning for that with the kids? Are we planning for it with our parents? Are you planning to take care of your parents when they're older? I just don't see the reason to, flee your parents' roof necessarily. Now, the alternative to that is we're not talking about, 35-year-old children, living in the basement, drinking Mountain Dew and playing, World of Warcraft or whatever the new version of that stuff is, Modern Warfare, or, you don't live at home because you're an unmotivated, whatever. It's an entire family unit working together. It's a multi-generational thing working together, to meet goals and those kind of things. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Sue says there's a big difference between multi-generational. We'll all work together to make things go, and where one supports another that doesn't bring anything to the table. Acre says Fortnite. It's a drug. Yeah, I've heard of Fortnite. No, that's exactly Jesus. It's not a, we don't just let our kids stay home to be home. It's one of the reasons why we're trying to start some of these smaller businesses for our kids. My middle daughter with the cut flower farm, for example, how many, early teens can start a business like that? Where do you get the land? How do you do, like, she can't. That's not possible for someone who's not even driving yet to be able to do a business like that, because you can't buy the land. Like, but I have the land. So what is it to me to break off a couple hundred, square feet for her to start working the ground and doing her own thing? Same with the chicks. I built the chicken coop. I bought the original chicks. I've bought, the brooder lamps and all those things. But my son is going to be selling chicks because that's something. He's working it. He's working it himself. She's working it herself. My oldest creates music, and we're working on launching a channel for her. That's a secret. I didn't tell you that. And but we've provided the space. We've done the legwork. We, got the computer, whatever. So these are things, and they're bringing it back to the whole family. And if my, for example, middle daughter does cut flowers for 10 years, well, by the time she's in early 20s, she's going to have a decade of experience doing it. It's not like she's going to start dabbling at 30 something to do it. She could actually be an expert in her field at a very early age because we did a multi-generational thing. So Sean says dad's place is already too small for the people here, looking a house to grow into, plus looking for a wife. So need to prove I can provide. Yeah, man, totally. Absolutely. So yeah, that's our hope. We do hope to provide. It was one of the thoughts when we were buying land was how much land do we need to kind of let the kids be close. So Alan or Brett says they say that AI will displace 40% of the entire human workforce. Where does that leave us? Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, I mean, that leaves us with trades ruling supreme, right? Because AI isn't going to change your toilet or, water heater or fix your air conditioner. It doesn't matter how Wi-Fi connected it is. Oh, well, my friends, we have been at it for a bit. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it. But as always, thank you so much for being here. You guys mean the world to me. It's been a lovely chat. I have enjoyed it very much. I'm going to go lay down and go to sleep because I have to get up before the rain to dispatch 2 pigs. So may God bless you and keep you this week. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.